challenge of playing the Lions. Good football team. They're playing very well right now. Dan's done a nice job with that crew over the last few years here. So, but we look forward to the challenge. Look forward to playing at GEH Field at Arrowhead Stadium. So, time's yours.
Coach, the decision to punt on the first drive on 4th and 2, you've been pretty aggressive. You've gone for it in that spot. What was your thinking on that one?
Yeah, I just thought, it's subjective. So I thought it was the right thing to do at that time. We have been aggressive, but I thought field position would end up being a big thing in this, in that game. So I chose to do that.
On the field position side of things, the penalties on special teams, that really did hurt you.
Yeah, too much.
Kind of a theme, is there anything you can look at, or it's common theme there?
Yeah, I always go back just to the basics. The angles that you take are so big on special teams. To put yourself in position to block, and you're doing it in space, so you got to be very disciplined that you don't let your hands grab any cloth and so on. So you got to be real careful with that. So, but just the best way to do it is you go out and practice fast with it. That's what we'll do. Try to put guys in, try to get them where they get it the right angles and get in the right position.
What was your message or the coaching staff's message to Chris about that final play?
Yeah, well, you can't think that the guy's down. I mean, you can't think that. You got to just play the play. He knows. I mean, he's been around this thing a long time, so that's really what it came down to. Yeah.
On that, he deleted his social media. I mean, I know you're not coach on social media, but do you have any message to the guys in general about that? Because that is a big thing, with everybody. To kind of get in your head and everything. Do you have any message to the guys in general, or to Chris specifically, about social media and everything that's out there?
No.
Is one of the biggest surprises through these first 5 games just the amount of uncharacteristic self-mistakes, self-errors?
We got to take care of that, Nate. That's something we got to fix, and it's getting us right now, and you can't do that. So again, the best way to do it is you go out and you practice it and make sure you get yourself working on those things that have been causing the problems.
Andy, what concerns you most about the Detroit Lions? They won 4 straight, the hottest team in the league.
Yeah, well deserved too. I mean, they're playing good football, good solid defense, flying around. Offense, they've been very effective offensively, point-wise and execution-wise. So they haven't had the self-inflicted wounds, as much as some other teams. So you know that they're not going backwards, and so we've got to make sure we take care of business, stay aggressive, and on both sides of the ball and special teams for that matter. Yeah.
And what do you see from the Lions' offense and defensive lines?
Yeah, they're strong in both those spots. I think that's been well documented. They're good offensive line. Been together a while, and they do a good job in the run and the pass game. And then defensively, likewise, they're solid in the pass game. Got a good scheme. They're good in the run game, so they cover their gaps and so on. Yeah.
We'll get Isaiah here in a few. I get that he seemed to sort of, in his own way, break out a little bit in this past game. What went right for him against?
I thought he did a good job, not only running but catching the ball, blocking when he was asked to. So he got a little bit more play time, which I think is good. Kind of get him into the swing of things, and that helped. At the same time, Kareem had a good day. So.
Andy, when it comes down to the one-score games, had so much success last season, obviously started at 0-3. Do you detail just problems like uncharacteristically or something that just how you do that?
That's this league right now. I mean, there's so much parity, and you gotta. That's why I mentioned after the game the penalties, turnovers, so on. You can't have those. Games are too close. Too much competition, equal competition. So you gotta take care of business there. My responsibility to make sure that's done.
Blair?
What do you make of some of the struggles that Harris and Butker's having this year?
Yeah, I think like like any golfer, right? You guys have all golfed, and sometimes you're hitting it good, and other times it's off. But you work through it. You keep swinging, man, and he'll do that. He's a talented kid, tough, mentally tough. So not really worried about him. Yeah.
Coach, when you're facing someone like the Lions, and I don't know what all the data says, it seems like they're pretty aggressive as well, fourth downs, things like that. Do you match aggressiveness with other opponents, home, road? I mean, how do you guys kind of go through that part of it when you're getting ready?
Yeah, listen, I just make a judgment. It doesn't matter necessarily who we're playing that way. I just try to make a judgment on from what I go into the game thinking a certain thing, and then do it. You know, and then if there's one that I haven't thought about, probably still do it.
The last two, Sarin and Sam. What's Sarin?
Coach, I know you talked about Isaiah. Kareem had a pretty good day. The running game overall. Jacksonville came in, I think, 3-4 against the run. Was that maybe one of the messages? Was that like a challenge to those guys? You know, not necessarily from you, but just running backs in general, the offensive line, to make a statement?
Yeah, their defense was ranked up there now. I mean, they were number one in a lot of categories, and you know, the guys move the ball effectively, but the stat part doesn't matter. It's points. You know, you got to score more than the other team, and we didn't get that done. But there were some good things that took place. The O-line did a nice job. The running backs did a nice job. But we had a couple self-inflicted wounds there, and you can't do that. You know.
Sam?
Maybe this is related, but you did put up almost 500 yards of offense. When you go back and watch it, and live version as well. What stood out to you most about the release of the live?
Yeah. When we didn't have the issues, I thought the guys executed well. We had a penalty, and anyways, the interception, all those things that went on. It negates some of that, but overall.
It's just for execution, or what do you attribute it to at the one-score games that you guys just haven't been as good as you were last year?
Yeah, I mean, you said it, pretty much execution, just little things here and there. We're just not making winning football plays in certain moments. And if it goes down to the interception in the red zone that I throw, I mean, that's a 14-point swing. And so I feel like we've played better these last few weeks. But in this league, it's going to come down to one-score games. That's what Coach Reid preaches right when we start off training camp every single year. And it's about who executes at a higher level. And we haven't done that as a team throughout these first 5-6 weeks.
How do you reconcile being able to put 500 yards of offense up, but then there are some of the mistakes that are costing you in big spots?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's positives on how we've progressed as an offense, but like I said, I think more than anything, it's about making winning plays. And so in years past, we might not have had so much success offensively, but we've made those winning plays whenever it's counted. And so I think that we have to get back to doing that. I mean, obviously we want the offense to continue to progress, but when we get in these high leverage, high intense moments, we gotta execute at a higher level, and that starts with me, and it kind of feeds throughout the rest of the team.
You're pretty honest in saying that it's too many losses already for you guys. Just how do you view this game with the line?
Yeah, it's extremely important. I mean, there's no way around it. This is a really good football team that we're going to play. They play extremely hard, and they have a mentality. They're going to come in and win a football game, and so we have to match that intensity. We have to match that mentality, and then knowing that it's going to take our best football, everybody, offense, defense, and special teams, and we got to go out there and prove it on Sunday. And so we got to start off with a great week of practice, and then come in with the mentality, and we're going to find a way, no matter how it looks, that we're going to find a way to get a win.
You said after the game that you got to find a way to make the tackle on that interception, or at least slow them up. Andy hadn't been willing to run you on the quarterback sneak. There are some quarterbacks that are told, don't take part in that. Like, you're too valuable to let that happen. What does Andy tell you about when that happens, making a tackle? Is he telling you to get in there and get him, or is he telling you to get out of the way?
He's never told me anything like that, but I mean, regardless, I'm a football player more than a quarterback, and I got to find a way to tackle the guy, or at least slow him down so other guys can get there. And playing that quarterback position after interceptions is, I mean, first off, it's your mistake, so you got to find a way to limit the mistake, and then you're kind of in that safety type position where it's kind of you and then no one else. And so got to be better in that situation, obviously, and try to slow them down, get a hand on them or anything like that, just so someone else can get there and make that tackle and let our defense bail us out of a bad mistake.
We didn't ask you after the game about the zero play to tackle on in the first quarter there. What did you see on that part?
Yeah, we knew they had some kind of different fronts there on that third and medium type range, and we had a good plan for it. They actually gave us an unscouted look in that situation as well. That's why they kind of got through there. But we knew when they did that, they leveled and flat-footed, kind of thinking the balls would come out fast. And I've always been of the mindset if they're going to blitz, we got to be aggressive and throw the ball down the field. It's like your best opportunity to do that. And so give a guy a chance on the field. And Ty didn't get far enough, but Taekwon did a great job coming back and adjusting to the ball and making a play.
I know it's only a month into the season, but are you still seeing unscouted looks pretty regularly? You feel like you don't see on tape from other teams?
I mean, everybody always adjusts their stuff here and there, but I thought they did a good job. They gave a couple. I mean, really, I think it was about those two unscouted looks that they had situationally, and that's what defenses are going to do. It's about you being able to adjust on the fly and be able to make the right protection calls and stuff like that. And so that happens every game. I think that it was just big moments where it was a big play, one our way and one their way with the unscouted looks.
Patrick, on that throw, were you able to see it land, or were you on your back by then? Because it sure looked like you were almost over by the time you let it go.
I didn't see it necessarily land, but I could see he came up with the. I don't know how to even explain it. I kind of could see through people's feet and stuff like that he caught the ball. So just giving guys chances down the field. We had talked about it all week. I told the guys, like, if they bring the pressure in this situation, I'm gonna throw the ball down the field and let y'all make a play. And he accepted that challenge and went up there and made a play.
Is it a weird sensation though to be like essentially on your back as the play is happening?
I think you kind of get used to it at quarterback. So a lot of times you're throwing the ball, you're getting hit, you're trying to hang into the last possible second, and so I've never even thought of it, honestly. So it usually is where I am at whenever a big play happens.
Patrick, what impresses you about Kelvin Shepherd's defense that he's running, and a guy that's been a part of the school has been,
Yeah, no, I think he does a great job of the game planning, kind of like we were talking about the unscouted looks, doing stuff that's specific to each and every team. He puts his guys in positions so they can play fast and play hard, and you can tell they respect him by how hard they do play. And so I don't know if that's being a former player or whatever it is, but he gets the best out of his guys, and so it'll be a great challenge for us. We got to match the intensity. We got to match. Match the intensity of going up against a Detroit Lions football team and a Detroit Lions defense, and so it'll be a great challenge for us.
We just talked about the intensity and everything, and earlier, the first game, there's talk about like, hey, you didn't have, the emotion and everything that you wanted. You had the best day for the running backs, today. They seem to have the intensity. How much did that carry forward, and how much did that drive the offense, at least the yardage success you guys had?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we're able to run the ball like that and then being able to play action and do bootlegs and stuff like that off of the run game, it really just opens up the entire offense. And I thought both those guys, all three of them, really ran really hard when they got the ball in their hands. And so it's just finding ways to put them in positions to succeed. And I thought the offensive line did a great job of, you could tell their chemistry, because pass blocking is one thing, but run blocking, it's a lot of chemistry and trading off blocks. You can tell that stuff's building with time and with more and more reps. And so I think it'll continue to get better and better as the season goes on, and those guys will continue to have more and more success.
Do you want to be this team's leading rusher?
However we win football games, I don't care how that looks, but it doesn't look like that's helping us right now. So if the other guys get running and we start winning football games, I'll take that.
Patrick, just outside the record, how do you feel about the offensive trajectory right now?
We're getting better. I mean, that's all you can do is we're getting better and better, and obviously we got one more week that we'll continue to add Rasheed, so just getting him into the offense as well. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning, and so I think if we can start making those winning plays, that's the last step that we need in order to take our offense to the next step.
Patrick, you've basically grown up in this social media age, right? So after the game, I guess Chris deleted some of his social media because people didn't like the last play. Taekwon talked to us a couple weeks ago about when he was young and struggling. It was not good for him. How do you handle that? Do you have advice for younger players or anyone on the team on kind of how you deal with that during the year?
Yeah, I mean, it can be toxic for sure. I mean, being on social media and seeing stuff, but I mean, to me, at the end of the day, I know who I am, and I know the amount of work that I put in, and I can live with myself and live with the results. And so I feel like if you're putting in the work and you're...
Even in a city that never sleeps, some nights feel more cinematic than others. On Tuesday, October 8th, New York shimmered with extra excitement as Taylor Swift and her fiancé, NFL star Travis Kelce, were spotted stepping out for dinner in the heart of Greenwich Village. The Kansas City Chiefs had just faced a tough loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but the energy around this power couple was pure magic, proof that even the brightest stars seek comfort in each other's company. Taylor's entrance could only be described as striking. She wore a figure-hugging black sweater, a flared plaid skirt that danced with every step, and caramel leather ankle boots that caught the city lights. A small Dior bag swung from her shoulder, the perfect blend of classic and modern. Her signature blonde hair spilled down her shoulders, and her bold red lips glowed like fire against the evening chill. It was as if Manhattan itself had paused to admire her. Travis Kelce, fresh from the field, cut an equally captivating figure. He wore a tailored dark suit and gleaming black shoes, his confidence radiating even after a difficult game. Where Taylor was all soft elegance, Travis brought steady strength, and together they looked like something out of a romance film, a quarterback and a pop queen writing their own script. Inside the restaurant, known for its privacy and star-studded clientele, the couple found their sanctuary. Their table on the second floor was bathed in candlelight, overlooking a cobblestone street sparkling with autumn lights. Travis, despite the sting of defeat, was all smiles, his attention fixed entirely on Taylor. She, in turn, offered gentle encouragement, her hand in his as they whispered about everything from upcoming concert plans to wedding details. They talked like they'd been together forever, a fellow diner revealed. Taylor kept looking at him with so much love in her eyes, and Travis couldn't look away. For nearly 2 hours, the pair enjoyed truffle pasta, a crisp fall salad, and a bottle of Italian red wine, a nod to Travis's favorite, as he'd mentioned on his podcast. Taylor, who usually prefers white, chose red that night just for him, a small gesture that spoke volumes about their connection. As dinner wound down and the world outside hurried past, Taylor borrowed the restaurant's piano. Soft notes floated through the room, and Travis watched her with unmistakable pride. He looked at her as if the world was just the two of them, another guest whispered. Eventually, the couple stepped out into the night, hands intertwined, unfazed by the flash of cameras. Taylor's laughter rang out, her head tipped toward Travis, who grinned back as if he'd forgotten the game entirely. They slipped into a waiting SUV and disappeared into the city's glow, leaving behind a trail of questions and admiration. Was this just another celebrity sighting, or the beginning of something legendary? As speculation swirls, one thing is clear. For Taylor and Travis, love may just be the greatest victory, no matter the score.